We find in the Qur'an several chapters named after Christian and Jewish figures: Yusuf or Joseph, Mary, Ali Imran, the family of Mary, Ibrahim for Prophet Abraham, the table, referring to the table of Jesus offering food, the room, for the Roman Empire, are examples. The chapter of Rome expresses Muslim condolences over the defeat of Christians by the disbelievers, and giving the good tidings that they will later be victorious. We find in the Qur'an many inspiring stories about the prophets Jesus, Moses, Abraham, John the Baptist, Jacob, Joseph, and many more. Muslims are inspired by the teachings of these holy prophets, much the same as their inspiration from the Prophet Muhammad. God's omnipotence and might is reflected in miracles such as Virgin Mary giving birth to Jesus. The Qur'an tells us about the exchange that takes place between Mary and the angel who announced the forthcoming birth of Jesus to her. Said she, "O my sustainer, how can I have a son when no man has ever touched me?" The angel answered, "Thus it is. God creates what He wills. When He wills a thing to be, He but says unto it, Be, and it is." Qur'an 3:47. The angel also tells Mary, "And He will impart unto thy son revelation, and wisdom, and the Torah, and the gospel, and will make him an apostle unto the children of Israel." Qur'an 3:48 and 49.
Jesus is a very important figure in the Quran. A number of passages speak about Jesus. Jesus is mentioned a number of times in the Quran. There's some very interesting similarities between Muslims and Christians, for example, if we look at the figure of Jesus. In the Quran, Muslims understand that Jesus is not just a prophet of God, but someone who has a miraculous birth. The Quran speaks of Jesus being born of Mary, who is a virgin. And so Muslims, like Christians, believe that the virgin birth, that Jesus is born from Mary, who is a virgin. The Quran tells us that Jesus receives the Gospels, and the word that the Quran uses, Injil. Moses is the prophet that's mentioned most by name in the Quran. If you look at the number of prophets that the Quran mentions, it's Moses who's mentioned the most. And for the most part, it's a very similar story to the story in the Hebrew Bible. In the Quran, and for Muslims, Moses represents really the archetype of God's prophet against evil in the world, which is Pharaoh. And so that story, which is there in the Hebrew Bible as well, is a very important story for Muslims in the Quran, the story of Moses as the prophet speaking out against oppression. And the oppression is exemplified by Pharaoh. And so that struggle between the oppressed, the children of Israel, led by Moses, and the oppressor, Pharaoh, is a very important story for Muslims.